Welcome back to the channel. On this little journey today, I'm going to be talking about reclaiming our power, because on our awakening, it soon becomes apparent somewhere along the journey we lost our power, or we never really lost our power. We perceived we lost our power, but to us it feels like we lost that, and we go about trying to reclaim that power. Now, depending on how long you've been on the journey for of the awakening, this could be a very long time. It could be a very short period of time. But if you're anything like me, you've been on it for any length of time, and you've gone through many different things, trying out this and trying out that. You scoured the internet for all these answers. How can I reclaim my power? And you may have gone through different things, different modalities and teachings and whatever else, but you're still feeling that somewhat, where's my power? And I'd like it back. I'd like it back now. And I still feel like, how do I do it? What is happening and what can I do for myself to reclaim this? And there are ways, because ultimately what we're trying to achieve is to remember who we truly are. We're actually spirit witnessing. We're the ones observing this. We're the ones creating it, or we're the ones doing it. What you're actually searching for is the one looking here, is from within. So on our journey to remember that, and we would all like to go, yep, I like to do it now, and it's here, I've got it. We're going to have to go through a few things. Now there is like your shadow works and healing your inner child, and forgiveness and acceptance and care and love and everything all around it. And everything is a step to get you to remember. Everything is a vehicle for you to remember who you truly are. And along the journey of remembering who we are, these little vehicles that we pick up along the way to help us do this come in very, very handy. Like I said, ultimately, you just want to do it. You just want to remember. But we've got these programs and beliefs running in the background, and they're causing us some issues here and there, or big issues here and there. Because when we do go and search out there for this reclaim of power, and we end up spiritually bypassing a lot of the time, well, I did on my journey anyway, I didn't actually come to the core issues. I didn't actually face the issues. I, like I said, spiritually bypassed a lot of them by mainly doing plant medicine, and I'm not ever dissing plant medicine, because I think it's got a perfect place for a lot of people, but it didn't show me at the time what I needed from it. I was still searching outside of myself, even though it would have these enlightening experiences and, oh yes, I'm God. It wasn't long lasting. So I was on then a quest to, how do I actually reclaim my power and it be consistent? And that's what I was looking for, consistency. So when I actually found these little processing techniques that I do talk about on this channel, I went through lots of different techniques, and I was like, this one was working in that way, and this one was clearing that, and that was helping me forgive that. But ultimately I wasn't stepping into that power, and I was like, why am I not, stepping back into my full power? What's missing here? Then a little process come and was shown to me, and it was so simple and so quick and so easy, and actually it was quite a lot of fun. Part of me was like, no, surely it can't be this simple. Surely it's got to be complicated and long and drawn out like all the other things, and delving into the shadow aspects of us and processing those over weeks, months and years and whatever else. And I'm not taking that process away from anyone either. I think they're great. But if you're anything like me, you're a little bit impatient, and you would like these things to happen a little bit more quickly. There are ways. And one of those ways is leaning into our pain, leaning into our fears, our issues, or whatever may be bothering you. But not leaning in too far, too quickly, too deeply, because that can have a detrimental effect. What can happen is you lean too far into your pain or your fears or whatever it is, you can have a sense of, oh my God, it's come up again, and you'll have a sense of wanting to run away. I did. The sensations would come up, they'd be really, really strong, and I'd be like, nope, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it later, I'll do it next week, or I'll find something else, I'll find that, and that'll be the one. I'm not no, it's a bit too much. So when I learnt to lean into it, just a little bit of uncomfortableness, pull myself back out, okay, release some tension, distract myself for a minute and go back in. What that done was, every time I leaned back in, I was actually sensing what I was doing to create the sensations, to create those future scenarios if you're looking at fear and things like that. And going back into it, coming back out of it, going back into it, coming back out of it, what happened was I started building trust again for myself. I started rebuilding that respect for myself. Like, I'm not going to put myself through a great big ordeal. I've done that over and over and over the years. And yeah, sometimes it caused even more trauma that I had to clear. And I'm like, I don't want to keep putting more stuff on me to clear. So this gentle approach was beneficial. And I've seen it work not just on myself, on many other people as well, especially if you've got a tendency to be really hard on yourself. I went through that process of really, really hard on myself with so many different things that I caused myself even more problems. And we've got enough problems, haven't we? You know, we've all got enough problems. So I was like, you know, there must be a gentler way I can be kind to myself. I can care for myself even more. And this process come, and it was shown to me, you can do this with care. You can support yourself through it without doing it too harshly, doing it too deeply, and frightening yourself even more, cause yourself even more discomfort. So it's a very easy process. Basically, what you was, like I was saying, you lean into it. So bring up whatever's bothering you, whatever fear that is, whatever worry may be, or even just a small little issue if you want to start there. That's a good place to start. Just small issues, small little fears, small uncomfortableness, because you can build upon this after. And then once the momentum's going with it, you've got the confidence to move back in. It's basically just leaning into that. So you've brought up a little issue for yourself. And then just gently lean into it. Go into that actual process. Don't stay there too long, maybe 10 seconds or so. Once you've leaned into it, bring yourself back out and then just breathe and let it go. Release any tension that you can at that moment and just let that go. Then distract yourself for about 10 seconds. So what I'll do is I'll count down from 10 to 0 and look around for a minute. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then once that's done, I'll lean back into the issue, or lean back into the process. So as you lean back into that process, on this round, on the next round, just have a look. What's you doing to actually create that sensation? And then scale that on a 0 to a 10. And then release it, let it go, come back out of it. Release the tension out of the body, distract yourself for another 10 seconds, and then lean back in. So lean back into that issue once more, and as you lean back in, again, notice what you've got to do in order for you to create that sensation. Then on this round, make it stronger. Really lean into this one, and then just make it a little bit stronger and notice what you've got to do to make it stronger. And when I say notice what you've got to do, it could be something like you'll hear something internally, or you'll see some imagery. Notice that imagery and notice that it brings the charge up in the body that little bit more. Release that, stop that. Bring yourself back out. Release the tension from the body once again, then distract yourself again for 10 seconds. As you lean back in, you can lean back in just that little bit further now. And then again, notice once again what you've got to do to create that charge, that sensation in your body. Now, what you'll begin to notice is it will morph and it will change because it's multifaceted. Behind that issue, behind that fear was quite a multitude of different things. And then as you keep leaning in, coming back out, releasing the tension, distracting yourself for a moment, leaning back in, leaning back out, and keep repeating that process. In a relatively short space of time, what you'll notice is that charge within you will dissipate. And it will dissipate and you can get it down to a 0 where there's no charge at all. Then when you've got it down to a 0 charge of you imagining every case scenario and what it is for you, when you go back out and do your life and get on with it and whatever else is happening for you, and then you come across something that could have triggered you with those scenarios that you was doing in the past, you'll notice that the trigger is completely gone and you are that much more free, or the trigger is very, very down, like out of a scale of 0 to 10, maybe a 1, a 2, a 3 maybe. Then you can notice in yourself, okay, I was triggered by that, but it was a lot less. That's great. I am actually remembering my power, my true self, and I am actually will have the confidence to lean back in again and go through this process again, because the charge is even down now. So you're like, oh, well, okay, the charge is not as strong as it was. I've got the confidence, I've got the care for myself to go back in once more and go through this process again. Some people clear this on the first go and then they can go again on another one. And, you know, you can get this process down to like 5 minutes. It just takes a little bit of commitment and a little bit of consistency at the start. And just firstly, having that, just a tiny bit of courage to start it, just to lean in. And it's in that leaning into this, by being gentle with ourselves, with being compassionate and loving with ourselves, we start to reclaim our power again. As we start to trust ourselves once again, we start to really care for ourselves. We go, do you know what? I've got this. And I can go and do X, Y, and Z, whatever that be for you. You can lean into all these uncomfortable things just so gently, but with consistency, over and over and over again, because repetitivity is the mother of all learning. We got in our issues and we got in our problems because of repetition. We was repeatedly telling ourselves things. The media, the world, our peers, our workplaces, our business associates, our friends, our family were telling us things. It was all telling us things, who we should be, what we should be doing, and all these things. We all got muddled up along the way. And if you're like me, and you got muddled up a lot, and you went really deep into despair and even horror and terror and absolute things that you do not want in your life, I will say to you, gently doing this over and over again, I guarantee you will release you back into your power and back to your freedom. It does work. And like I said, these little processes, people are like, oh, it can't be that simple. But it is. It really is. It's just that consistency to go back in it. And it's just having that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it a shot and give it a try. You've got nothing to lose. I didn't have anything to lose when I first started it. But when I went through it and seen others and guided others through it and seeing really good results, because who wants to sit there really for hours and hours and hours doing all this internal work on themselves? I think I've said in one of the last videos, like, I hear the word work and internal, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. And the other thing with all of this is, yeah, we can have fun with it. I have sessions with my teacher who shows me lots of things, and we have such fun with it. We laugh all the way through it. And I have people that I deal with as well, and I inject fun into it and inject that joy into it. And I smile for it and go, do you know what? It doesn't have to be all this long, drawn out, oh, I've got to do the shadow work, I've got to face this and do that. We can do it all with a light-hearted fun. We can forgive ourselves and have fun with it. We can learn to nurture ourselves once again. And then we can start to learn to step back in that power and have fun with our power. Not be frightened of our power. Because as we start reclaiming our power, there can be a sense of us that's like, oh, I get this power back now. And a little bit, don't know what to do with that. Am I going to be destructive? Am I going to be silly with it? Oh no, do you know what? I'm not sure what to do with my power. Back off, back off, back off. So that's another reason why we go in gently. And we do this with that care. Because as we build that trust, and then we build a little bit more power, we take a little bit more action, we go out there and do things, we engage ourselves back with life. And then you know in yourself, yeah, I've got this sense of power back and I'm actually reclaiming this, and I'm not being destructive with it. I'm actually using it really beneficially. I'm using it to help myself and others with it, however that be. And this is really working. You can go back in, lean into that a little bit more. then as you lean back into it and you've built more confidence for yourself and you're like, I'm competent in doing this, you can lean back into those things that are a little bit more uncomfortable. Don't pick the top ones that are really like, that's really doing me head in and it's causing me all this. Start the little ones, build it up from there. And then as you see it working for you and you're building that competence, I can do this, you're building that confidence, you watch the magic unfold. Watch it all remember who you are and watch it all flow back into your life. Now some may be thinking and sitting there going, oh, yeah, but it's all right for you. But I was there too. I was there in the total despair and apathy for a long, long time. And these little things stepping in, just that little bit, helped me immensely. They really did. I pulled myself back out. Yeah, I had to do a lot of other work. Yeah, I had to do the shadow work. Yeah, I had to heal the inner child stuff. But these things helped me do those deeper things. Really immensely jump into that by having that confidence to do it. Let's step back into our power just a little bit today. See where that leads you. See what that uncovers for you. And I'll see you on the next video. Much love.